Test 1, 2, 3. 8, thank you. I'd like to call the Senate to order. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Barnett, Senator Barrett, Senator Blackman, Senator Blackwell, Senator Blunt, Senator Boyd, Senator Branning, Senator Bryan, Senator Butler of the 36, Senator Butler of the 38, Senator Carter, Senator Kaufman, Senator Chazanall, Senator Chisholm, Senator DeBar, Senator Delano, Senator England, Senator Fillingane, Senator Frazier, Senator Harkins, Senator Hickman, Senator Hill, Senator Hobson, Senator Horn, Senator Jackson, Senator Johnson, Senator Jordan, Senator Kirby, Senator McCon, Senator McDaniel, Senator McClendon, Senator McMahon, Senator Michelle, Senator Norwood, Senator Moran, Senator Parker, Senator Parks, Senator Pope, Senator Seymour, Senator Simmons of the 12th, Senator Simmons of the 13th, Senator Sojourner, Senator Sparks, Senator Suber, Senator Tate, Senator Thomas, Senator Thompson, Senator Turner Ford, Senator Whaley, Senator Wiggins, Senator Williams, Senator Younger. Mr. President, a quorum is present.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Will the guests in the gallery and the senators please rise for the invocation given by the Reverend Leslie Rhodes, who is the pastor of Helena Presbyterian Church in Moss Point, Mississippi, be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Senator England. Reverend Rhodes.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Hoseman, for that warm welcome. Thanks, Senator England, for inviting us to come up and be with you today. And thank all of you for allowing us to be here today. It's a great privilege for myself as well as my wife to be here with you today. Well, I've been introduced to you this morning, but later today or tomorrow or sometime in the future, it may be very well that you forget who I am, but you have lost nothing. But if you've ever been introduced to Jesus Christ and you forget him, you have lost everything. Let us pray. Almighty and eternal God of all that is, ever was, and ever will be, we acknowledge you as the giver of every good and perfect gift. Thank you, Lord, for another day you have given, filled with opportunities to make a difference in your world. Thank you also for the sureness of your presence here in this hall of legislation for the great state of Mississippi. Bring peace in the midst of this world's turmoil. And Lord, teach each one of us to turn to you so that your thoughts may become our thoughts and your ways our ways. Today, I ask you to bless our lawmakers and leaders. Illuminate their lives to keep them on the right paths. May the creative power of your word produce in them a stronger faith and a determined hope. Fill them with courage as you show them your unfailing love. Give them an attitude of openness to receive the fullness of your grace and your truth. We thank you for your word and for the eternal truths that guide us day by day. And Lord, most holy, you are the one who sustains us each day. And thank you for the opportunity to serve the great state of Mississippi and our great country. Empower our lawmakers and leaders to serve you with strength and courage, refusing to deviate from the path of integrity. And Lord, remind them that the importance of seeking your wisdom is the most they can do. And as you give them an awareness of your abiding presence, supply their needs according to your riches and glory. Use them to transform dark days into bright tomorrows. And Lord, make each one of us instruments of your peace. Use this to be able to carve tunnels of hope through mountains of despair. And Lord, I humbly ask you to meet the needs of the senators and leaders of Mississippi as they seek to serve humanity. Be near them as they work and guide their thoughts as they deliberate. Give our senators and leaders your presence and an awareness of your abiding presence. And Lord, empower them to cling tightly to their faith in you and to keep their conscience clear. We trust in you, and we know that you will lead us in your truth. God, you are our defense. You are our shelter, and you are our Savior. And because of you, the great state of Mississippi continues to be blessed. Thank you for your sureness of your presence that brings us peace in the midst of world's turmoil. You have taught us to live a life of meaning, a life infused with holiness, your holiness. We must strive not only to improve our own lot, but the lives of others as well. Help us to care for the poor, the widow, and the orphan, to remove stumbling blocks for the blind, and create a society governed by fairness and compassion. This, you have taught us, is the path of meaning and holiness. And may the work of the hands of these legislators and leaders and the meditations of our hearts be ever directed toward creating a better and more just world. May this be God's will in and through each of us as we pray in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Reverend Rhodes. For joining us this morning. Now to the reading of the journal. Senator Polk, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate dispense with the reading of the journal.
Senator moves to dispense with the reading of the journal. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Message and petitions, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. President, there are none.
Committee reports, Senator Polk, you're recognized.
Mr. President, I move the Senate dispense with the reading of the committee reports.
Senator moves to dispense with the reading of the committee reports. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Next to the reading of the titles of the bills and resolutions, recognize Senator Polk.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate dispense with the reading of the titles of the bills and resolutions.
Senator moves to dispense with the reading of the titles of the bills and resolutions. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Introduction of guests. Introduction of guests. Senator Parker, you're recognized for introduction, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. If everyone would turn their attention to the South Gallery, I'm going to have Ms. Sandra Pope stand. Ms. Sandra is my brother-in-law's mother. She, and on behalf of myself and Senator Suber, we'd like to welcome her here. Her husband, Rudy, the good friend of Senator Suber, of course, a great friend of myself as well. We lost him a little earlier this year. We're glad to have her at the Capitol today. I think she has one of her friends also from the Bruce area here. So if you would, please stand and let us make you feel welcome.
Thank you, and welcome to your Capitol. Senator Tate, for an introduction.
A few introductions, Mr. President. First of all, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, if you can face the North Gallery, we have Mr. Tommy Whitfield with us today. He is our Assistant District Attorney for the 10th District. On behalf of Senator Hickman, McCaw, and myself, and DeBar, if we will, please give him a hand. All right, now, second, if you'll direct your attention first to my chair, we have the Lieutenant Governor in wait. This is my oldest. This is Caroline. And then in the North Gallery, we have my wife, Leah, and my youngest, Ella. So if y'all will, please make them feel welcome. And last, Mr. President, we have a real special guest with us today. Miss Emily, if you'll stand up with your parents. We have Emily McNeil, who is accompanied today by her parents, Chris and Misty McNeil. She is of Enterprise. Now, she is a rodeo queen. She knew how to turn it out fast. I don't know all the rodeo lingo, but I know this. She went against 280 some odd competitors. She got first and she won over $100,000. She's going to learn what taxes are all about. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Congratulations. That puts you in a new tax bracket. All right, Senator Suber. Recognize Senator Suber. One moment, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Introduction.
Please proceed.
I have a few other ladies here from Bruce, Mississippi. Up here in the South Gallery, I have Miss Liv Massey, Bridget Smith, or they've moved on me, Becky Wright, Michaela Shelton, and Rosemary Shelton. And also Miss Sandra Pope again. I want to thank y'all for being here today.
Senator England, you're recognized for introduction, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues over at the non-smokers table, I want to ask you to please help me make welcome the wife of our preacher of the day today, Miss Deborah Rhodes. Thank you for being here.
Senator Robert Jackson, for what purpose, sir?
Introduction.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. This morning we have the pleasure in the Southwest Gallery, the President of the Board of Supervisors of Tunica County, Pastor McKinley Daly. You're going to ask him to stand and ask the Senator to make him welcome.
Senator Hobson, you're recognized for introduction, sir.
Announcement out of order.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Announcement out of order. Please, please
Thank you,
listen.
Mr. President. Any subcommittee chairs for appropriations, if you would see me or Corbin today, if you've got any particular issues with subcommittee agencies that you're working on, if you'd make sure you see us today, because we're going to try to start working this budget together, and I need to make sure I've got all input from all the subcommittee chairs. Thank you.
So subcommittee chairs meet with the senator today. He's trying to finish the budget. So, okay. Any other introductions? Any other introductions? All right, Senator Seymour, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to introduce our junior pages for this week. I believe it's the largest and best group that we've had so far. Yeah. No. Give me 1 second. We got a little technical difficulty here.
Where's mine, Sarah? That was supposed to be mine.
Is he doing it for Senator Kaufman or for you?
Me, that's my niece.
All right, I think we got this straightened out. When I call your name, just step forward to be recognized. Caden Jackson, hometown of Jackson, representing Senator Barbara Blackman. Aaron Nichols from Canton, also for Senator Barbara Blackman. Douglas Huff Jr. from Smithdale, paging for Kevin Butler. Murphy Sanders III from Gloucester, also paging for Senator Kevin Butler. Sarah Hayden Brady from Hattiesburg, Paging for Senator Moran, also his niece, Braden Overby from Mendenhall, paging for Senator Chris Kaufman, Solomon Green from Jackson, paging for Senator Briggs Hopkins is also our committee assistant Pat Trowell's son. Lauren Kilroy from Vicksburg, paging for Senator Hopkins. Connor Batson from Hattiesburg, paging for the Lieutenant Governor. Margaret Collins from Clinton, also paging for the Lieutenant Governor. Stevie Dixon from Hattiesburg, paging for the Lieutenant Governor. Hope Houston from Laurel, paging for the Lieutenant Governor. Katie Mayo from Oxford, paging for the Lieutenant Governor. Bernie McWilliams from Brandon, also paging for the Lieutenant Governor. Zachary Rifkin from Hattiesburg, also for the Lieutenant Governor. Stone Ellis Rigney from Brandon, paging for the Lieutenant Governor. Also Committee Assistant Terry Burkhardt's son. Cash Boland from Saltillo, paging for Senator Chris McDaniels. Carolyn Casey from Laurel, paging for Senator McDaniels. Hope Houston from Laurel, also paging for Senator McDaniels. Wyatt Main from Lumberton, paging for Senator Seymour. Christina Seymour from Madison, paging for Senator Seymour, my niece. And Maddox Strickland from Moss Point, also paging for Senator Seymour. Would the Senate make these pages feel welcome? One second. Mr. President, I have two special junior pages, DJ Simmons and Carter Simmons, sons of Senator Derrick Simmons.
Yeah. Junior pages. All right, Senator Simmons. Worn out. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Pages, and thank you for your help. Senator Hobson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Introduction, please.
Please proceed.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce someone that most of us know, and he probably needs no introduction, but our doctor of the day is a good friend and longtime doctor and physician of the day here in the Capitol, Dr. Randy Easterling. I'd ask the senators to make him welcome this morning.
Thank you, Dr. Easterling, and for all of your help and assistance to the medical community, particularly on legislation. So we appreciate you a bunch and glad to have you here today. Okay. Anyone else? All right, to the calendar. Senator Harkins, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to go to item number 1, Senate nomination number 63, and have the title read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
Senate nomination number 63, Huey Love Hugh Townsend Jr., Belzona, Mississippi Home Corporation, as a resident of the 1st Supreme Court District, term effective December 30th, 2022 and ending June 30th, 2028.
Mr. Townsend appeared before the committee, and there was no derogatory information in his peer report. His appointment met the statutory requirements, and the only item that was outstanding was a statement of economic interest, which he filed on the 9th. So My motion is we do advise the consent on Senate nomination number 63 on the morning roll call.
Questions? Seeing none, advising consent has been requested. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Thank you, Senator Harkins. We're on number 2.
All right, I'd like to go to item 2, Senate nomination number 70, and have the title read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
Senate nomination number 70, Robert Reed Nelson, Madison, Mississippi, Mississippi Home Corporation, remainder of 6-year term effective June 28, 2022, and ending April 23, 2026, representing the 1st Supreme Court District, Vice Carl Eugene Delcron.
Mr. Nelson appeared before the committee and is going to serve the remaining term for Mr. Delcomen. He has filed a statement of economic interest, and his appointment met the statutory requirements for the position. If there are no questions, I move we do advise the consent on the morning roll call.
Advising consent on the morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object to that procedure? Court is voting no. Present. Advising consent granted. Number 3, Senator.
I'd like to go to item 3, Senate nomination number 66, and have the title read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
Senate nomination number 66, Brian Kendall Johnson, Madison, Mississippi, Mississippi Business Finance Corporation is a member associated with a banking or small business, unexpired 6-year term effective upon confirmation by the Senate and ending March 30th, 2026. Vice Reed Nelson.
Mr. Johnson appeared before the committee. His appointment met the statutory requirements for the position. There was no derogatory information in his peer report. The only item outstanding was a statement of economic interest, which he filed on March the 9th. Therefore, I move we do advise the consent on Senate nomination number 66 if there are no further questions.
Questions? Seeing none. Use of the morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object to the procedure? Court is voting no. Present. Confirm.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to go to item 4, House Bill 1648, and have the title read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
House Bill number 1648, Mississippi Small Business Investment Company Act, increase the amount of tax credits that can be allocated under.
My motion is we adopt make the usual motion.
Usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Move we adopt the strike all and recognize Senator Johnson to explain.
Senator Johnson, you're recognized to explain the strike all.
Thank you, Mr. President. The strike all for 1648 replaces the House language with the Senate language that we already passed this year. It has to do with the Mississippi Small Business Investment Company Act. This is the tax credit essentially for insurance premiums, the insurance premium tax that the state puts out in advance of future years, where there's 4 private companies that take those credits, sell them to insurance companies at a discount, and then raise some private money, and then take that money in present day dollars and invest it in businesses to help be a catalyst to get those businesses going here in Mississippi. And that's an explanation of what the strike all does. Yield to any questions.
Senator Hill, for what purpose, ma'am?
Question.
For you, for a question, Senator
Yes.
Johnson. Senator Hill is recognized for a question.
Do we have a list of participating companies that have gotten investment from these SBICs?
Yes, I don't have it up here with me, but I can give you a list of the 4 companies who do the lending with this money that the funds are allocated to, or the credits are allocated to, and then I'll also give you a list of some of the companies in the state that have benefited from this.
Do you know if we've invested in any out-of-state companies?
No, it's specifically for Mississippi-based companies. They have to locate here in Mississippi.
I was looking at lines 101 through 109, and it basically said there was a waiver for a secondary SBIC. I guess, I think that's what it's, what is a secondary?
So they're allowed an initial funding, and then if they are growing and they have a spin-off subsidiary, it still has to be in state, it still has to meet all the criteria. However, they waive, I believe it was 2 of the initial factors because they're already met. They've already been approved for the.
So all the original rules still apply, that the employees would have to live in Mississippi for 2 years and it would have to be a Mississippi company?
That's correct. And we just don't have, there's 2 of those criteria that we don't verify because they're already met.
Okay. So if it was a new company that was trying to get money through the SBIC, they would still have to meet those initial criteria?
That's correct, yes.
Thank you. How much money is this?
It's $45 million total. It's spread over 5 years in 10, 10, 10, 10, and then 5.
Okay. I'd really like to see a list of those companies. I think I asked for it last year, but, and I might have got it, I just can't remember.
I'll give it to you shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Hill. Other questions? Other questions?
Move adoption of the strike all.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed, Senator.
Move passage using the morning roll call.
Use of the morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object to procedure? Board is voting no. Blunt, no. Hill, present. Sojourner, present. Chisholm, no. Anyone else? All right. Bill passes. Number 5, Senator Harkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to go to item 5, House Bill 1668, and have the title read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
House Bill 1668, income tax, revise certain provisions regarding pass-through entities.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
Recognize,
Ayes have it.
please recognize Senator Johnson to explain the bill.
Senator Johnson, you're recognized to explain.
Thank you, Mr. President. Actually have a floor amendment for this, which is essentially a strike all for the bill, and ask that we bring it up.
You're recognized to explain the amendment strike all.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last year, if y'all remember, we had a bill dealing with SALT, the state and local tax, where we would allow pass-through entities to pay the tax that would normally pass through to an individual's personal income tax return. We would allow them to pay their tax for a particular pass-through entity at the entity level, thus allowing them to fully deduct that state tax income on their federal taxes. And we got feedback from both DOR and CDAs where they would like some clarifying language, and this bill simply makes the clarifying changes that were requested, the technical corrections that were requested, and that's an explanation of what the amendment and the bill do. Yield to any questions.
Questions? I see none, Senator.
Move adoption of the strike all amendment.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, Senator. We're ready on the bill.
Move adoption of the bill using the morning roll call.
Use of the morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object to the procedure? Board is voting no. Present. Bill passes. To you, Senator Harkins, number 6.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to go to item 6, House Bill 1733, and have the title read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
House Bill number 1733, income tax, revise deduction for depreciation for certain expenditures and property.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we adopt the strike all and you vote no on it, and I'll ask you recognize Senator Johnson to explain.
Senator Johnson, you're recognized to explain the strike all.
Thank you, Mr. President. So in the strike all version that we did in committee, we added a reverse repealer. What we'd like to do now is to defeat that strike all, and then I'll explain a new strike all amendment on the floor. So I move that we adopt the strike all and ask the chamber to vote no.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no.
No.
The noes have it.
Now, Mr. President, if you would recognize me to explain the floor strike all.
We have a new strike all, Senate. Senator Johnson, you're recognized. It's on the screen, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. What we did is we inserted the Senate language that we passed regarding the full expensing, which, if you remember, is where we are going to allow businesses to fully deduct in the first year certain business expenses that would normally be depreciable up to 20 years. This has nothing to do with residential property. It's all business expenses, and they're listed in IRS sections 163. In IRS section 168. In addition to what we previously passed, we added some language, including sections 179 of the IRS code, And otherwise, it's the same bill that we passed earlier in the session, and that's an explanation of the strike all.
Okay, questions? Motion is to adopt the strike call. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Okay, we're on the bill, sir.
Move passage of the bill using the morning roll call.
Use of the morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object to the procedure? Mr. Carr is voting no. Present? Seeing none, the bill passes. All right, Senator, you're on item 7, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to go to item 7, House Bill 1734, and have the title read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
House Bill 1734, bonds authorized for various purposes.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed.
Move we adopt the strike all and be recognized to explain it.
You're recognized to explain the strike call.
Thank you. This was the House bond bill, which had some language in the event we needed some corrective language on any bonds, but we've basically substituted our bond for cash bill that we did earlier in the session, which basically took bonds that were outstanding that have been issued for parts of projects. The rest of the project is being completed, and those bonds will be issued. We basically removed that and supplemented it with cash. It was about $79 million that we did, and that is the explanation of the bill. The bill does have a reverse repealer in it to go to conference. So that is the explanation of the strike all. If there are no questions, I move adoption of the strike all.
Questions? Senator Sojourner, for what purpose, ma'am?
A question.
You for a question, Senator Harkins?
I do.
Senator Sojourner is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Chairman. So the bill doesn't actually have new issue bonds in it?
No, there are no
correct?
issue bonds. The bond, the bill we did just paid off
Gotcha.
bonds.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, Senator, we're ready for your motion, sir.
Move adoption of the strike all.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed, Senator.
If there are no further questions, I move passage on the morning roll call.
Use of the morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object to the procedure? Mr. Record is voting no. Present? Seeing none, bill passes. Item 8, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to go to item 8, House Bill 549, have the title read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
House Bill number 549, sales tax, exempt certain sales of property transported from the state and first used in another state.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to recognize Senator Barnett to explain the
Senator
bill.
Barnett, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. President. This bill that we have before us today is similar to the Senate bill that we passed out of the Senate, except for the House chose to do some other things with that particular bill that had nothing to do with the legislation as it was written. But basically what this bill does, it gives manufacturers across the state of Mississippi, those who manufacture equipment that can be driven and used in other states, it gives them the opportunity to not charge them the sales tax on it here, but they will have to pay sales tax when they get it to their destination. And this was a huge advantage to Airbus years ago in the Columbus area when the legislature passed similar legislation to allow them in the manufacturing of their helicopters to be able to not charge the sales tax here, but let the individuals or the companies that was buying the equipment be able to pay the sales tax there. And it gave Airbus the opportunity for the people to come in to be able to train on the equipment. They spent money there, they stayed there, the whole 9 yards. And this piece of legislation would do the same thing to other manufacturers around the state who produces things, i.e. dump trucks, vacuum trucks, and all these type of things that now they're having to drive them across or drive them to other states versus the individual coming here and getting the training. That's basically the explanation of the bill, Mr. President. I'm open to any questions.
Questions on the bill? Seeing none, Senator, we're ready for your motion.
Mr. President, there's no question on motion that passes up on morning roll call.
Use of the morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object to the procedure? Mr. B, record voting no. Present? Seeing none, the bill passes. Senator Harkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to go to Item 9, House Bill 1671, and have the title read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
House Bill number 1671, tax credits, revise certain existing and authorize additional.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed, Senator.
Move adopt the committee strike all and be recognized to explain.
Recognized to explain the strike all, Senator.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the omnibus tax credit bill from the House. We had a couple bills in the Senate that came through. They're individual. They put all theirs in one basket. We added a reverse repealer to take it to conference, but this dealt with some of the Pregnancy Resource Act tax credit. It also amended the adoption tax credit, just differences in the Senate language and the House language, and so we just decided to take this to conference and work out some of the differences through conference. But that is the explanation. It does have a reverse repealer, and I'll be happy to yield for any questions. If there are none, I move adoption of the strike all.
Questions? Seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, Senator. We're ready on your motion.
Thank you. If there are no further questions, I move adoption or final passage on the morning roll call.
The morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object to the procedure? Court is voting no. Blunt, no. Anyone else? Anyone else? Simmons, no. Hickman, no. Norwood, no. Anyone else? Jackson, no. Jordan, no. Anyone else? Horn, no. Anyone else? Thomas, no. Simmons, no. Butler, no. Anyone else? Anyone else? Seeing none, the bill passes. Thank you. With appropriate noes. Number 10.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to go to item 10, House Bill 1561, and have the title read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
House Bill 1561, ad valorem taxation, revise types of new enterprises eligible for tax exemption.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed, Senator Harkins.
I move we adopt the committee sub and ask you to recognize Senator Williams to explain.
Senator Williams, you're recognized for the committee substitute.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill does two things. The first thing it does is it allows supervisors and the municipal authorities in a local area to grant ad valorem exemptions for the use of growing indoor vegetables. The reason it comes to us, the city of Eupora has some vacant buildings, and they're talking to some economic developers that are looking at that and want the ability to negotiate with an ad valorem exemption. The second thing this bill does, in section 3, it says, we want to insert the language that says, subject to the Board of Supervisors making the levy for taxes as requested by the Board of Commissioners. This language was an amendment that was put in yesterday. There is a commission that evidently has the ability to levy taxes. There is no elected board in the process. This will now require the Board of Supervisors to approve those taxes. Basically, it's taxation without representation, and this kind of does away with that. That is the explanation of the bill. I'll yield to questions, Mr. President.
Senator Hill, for what purpose, ma'am?
Question.
You're recognized for a question?
Yes.
Go ahead, please, Senator Hill.
On lines 238, where it says, underline, controlled environment agriculture enterprises meeting minimum criteria established by the Mississippi Development Authority, would that take into account marijuana growing or processing operations?
That's a very good question, Madam. Sorry, I did not say that. If you look at 241 through 243, it does exclude medical marijuana on the subsequent lines, ma'am.
Thank you.
I didn't explain that. My apologies.
All right. Other questions? Other questions?
No other questions. I would move for adoption of the strike all.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Okay, Senator, we're ready for your motion.
I would move by passage by, request passage by use of the morning roll call, Mr. President.
Morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object to the procedure? Court is voting no. No. Present. Seeing none, the bill passed. Thank you, Senator Williams. We're on under number 11, Senator Harkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. Go to item 11 and have the title read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
House Bill 1723, tax credits authorized for business contributions to certain organizations supporting food pantries or soup kitchens.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask you recognize Senator Johnson to explain the bill.
Senator Johnson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill establishes a tax credit with a $1 million cap per year for businesses that donate to a food bank, an organization that provides food to at least 5 counties. This supports the food pantries in the state, which food pantries are currently located in 81 of our 82 counties, Carroll County being the exception. However, it is serviced by some of the local food pantries in that area. The bill, like I said, is capped at $1 million and is mirrored after previous tax credits that we have set up, and that's an explanation of the bill. I do have an amendment that we took up in committee that we need to adopt on the floor.
Any questions on the bill, Senate? Any questions? We'll move to the amendment.
In committee, we just removed the reverse repealer that the House had sent over, and we just need to adopt that on the floor. Move it.
You're speaking on the amendment, Senator. Your motion will be on the amendment.
Move to adopt the amendment.
Motion is to adopt the amendment. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, Senator. We're ready.
Move passage using the morning roll call.
Use of the morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object to the procedure? Court is voting no. Present. Seeing none, bill passes. Thank you, Senator Johnson. Thank you, Senator Harkins. Senator Kirby, you're recognized. We're on number 12. Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to suspend the rules, take up items 12 through 27 in block, and ask the title to be read.
12 through 27 in block. I'll give you just a second to look if anyone would like to withdraw one of those numbers. Anyone would like to withdraw any number between 12 and 27? Seeing none, Senator Kirby, the motion is to adopt in block. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, Senator Kirby. We're ready for your motion, sir.
Yeah, please read the titles.
Mr. Clerk, please read the titles.
NWMCC Lady Rangers Volleyball Team for First Ever Region 23 Championship. Senate Resolution number 61, commend Northwest Mississippi Community College Rangers Softball Team for First Region 23 title. Senate Resolution number 62, commend Germantown High School Lady Mavericks Girls Basketball Team for their first Class 6A state championship. Senate Resolution number 63, commend Yazoo City High School Indians Boys Basketball Team for winning first 4A state championship in 27 years. Senate Resolution number 64, commend Northwest Rankin High School Cougars Boys Basketball Team for winning its first state championship. Senate Resolution number 65, recognize the Iberville Public Works Director Mike Mullins on the occasion of his retirement and commend his public service. Senate Resolution number 66, observed March 21st, 2023 as Kappa Alpha Sorority Day at the Capitol. Senate Resolution number 67, resolutions congratulating 2022-2023 West Lauderdale High School girls soccer team. Senate Resolution number 68, commends Sarah Lee England State Games Female Athlete of the Year. Senate Resolution number 69, congratulate Mr. Leroy Carpenter State Games Male Athlete of the Year. Senate Resolution number 70, commend Jackson Prep Patriots Boys Basketball Team for back-to-back MAIS State Championships. Senate Resolution number 70, commend Louisville High School Lady Wildcats Girls Basketball Team for winning 4A state championship. Senate Resolution number 72, congratulate Kaylee Harrison being selected as State Games Youth Athlete of the Year. Senate Resolution number 73, commend Boonville High School Lady Blue Devils Girls Basketball Team for winning back-to-back MHSAA 3A state championships. Senate Resolution number 74, commend Boonville High School Blue Devils Boys Basketball Team for winning back-to-back MHSAA 3A state championship. House Concurrent Resolution number 39, Penny Flott Mayfield, commend upon being named a 2023 Noel Polk Lifetime Achievement Award nominee.
Mr. President, I make the usual motion.
Thank you, Senator. I'm sorry. Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, as you can see, these are all very deserving. They've been reviewed by the Rules Committee and ask for use of morning roll call for final passage if there are no questions.
Use of the morning roll call has been requested for final passage. Anyone object to the procedure? Wish to be recorded as voting no. Present. Seeing none, thank you, Senator Kirby. Good job.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Local and private, Senator McMahon, you're recognized. We're on item 28, Senate.
Mr. President, thank you. Call up item 28 on today's calendar and ask the title be read.
Okay. Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
Senate Bill 2892, City of Vicksburg, authorized to contribute to the creation, development, and promotion of the Dr. Jane Ellen McAllister Museum.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Please proceed, Senator McMahon.
Senate Bill 2892 is a bill which allows the City of Vicksburg to make donations and contributions to the Dr. Jane Ellen McAllister Museum. She is the first African-American woman to earn a doctoral doctorate in Mississippi. Be happy to yield for any questions.
Questions on the bill? Seeing none, Senator, we're ready for your motion, sir.
Move for passage on the morning roll call.
Use of the morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object to procedure? Recorder is voting no. Present. Seeing none, bill passes. Senator, we're on 29.
I skipped 29, ask it retain its place on the calendar and move to item 30 and ask the title be read.
29 retains its place on the calendar. Now, item 30. Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
Senate Bill number 3108, Lowndes County authorized lead property for nominal consideration for nonprofit use for the benefit of disadvantaged children.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed, Senator McMahon.
This bill allows the Lowndes County, Mississippi, to make a property donation to the Palmer Home for Children. If the Palmer Home for Children, if the entity doesn't do anything with the property within 1 year, that it will revert back to the county. That's what the bill does. Be happy to yield for any questions.
Questions on the bill?
I move for passage on the morning roll call.
Passage on the morning roll call has been requested. Reject the procedure. Court is voting no. Thank you, Senator McCunn. Bill passes.
I'd like to skip down. I'd like to suspend the rules and take up items 32, 33, 34, and 35 in block.
32, 31
33.
retains its on its place. 32, 33, 34, and what was it?
And 35 in block.
In block. Give a moment for y'all to review. If anyone object, would like to delete one of the four. Seeing none, Senator, we're ready.
I'd like to ask the titles be read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the titles.
House Bill number 1197, City of Baldwin, extend date of repeal on tax for hotels, motels, restaurants, and convenience stores. House Bill number 1209, City of Waynesboro, extend repeal on authority to impose tax on bars, restaurants, hotels, motels, B&Bs. House Bill number 1356, City of Lexington, extend repeal on restaurant tourism tax. House Bill number 1521, City of Brandon, extend repeal on tax on sales of prepared food and drink at restaurants and bars.
Thank you. I took these items up in block because they all do the same thing. This is a local option sales tax in these regions, and it just extends the repealer dates. Be happy to yield for any questions.
Okay, the motion is to suspend the rules. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Now, questions on all the bills, on the four bills? Seeing none, Senator?
I'll make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Okay, Senator, we're ready.
Move for passage on the morning roll
Yes,
call.
the morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object to procedure? Those voting no. No. McClendon?
No.
Anyone else? Sojourner? No. Chisholm? No. Hill? Present. Okay, McDaniel, Sojourner, Chisholm, no. Hill, present, Mr. Clerk. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay. Bills passed. Senator, you recognize we're on 36, sir.
I'd like to skip item 36 and move to item 37 and 38. My motion is to suspend the rules and take up 37 and 38 in block.
Suspend the rules. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Ask the titles be read.
Motion to suspend the rules in block. Now the titles. Mr. Clerk, please read the titles.
House Bill number 1541, Tallahatchie County authorized conveyance of public library to the town of Webb. House Bill number 1542, Tallahatchie County authorized conveyance of public library to the town of Tutwiler.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Please proceed.
These two bills do exactly what the titles state. It allows the county of Tallahatchie to convey property, one piece of property to the town of Webb and the other to the town of Tutwiler. If there's not any questions, I yield for any questions.
Questions on the bill? I don't think there's anybody in here from Tutwiler or Webb, actually. Senator Jordan? It's yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Chairman, these two bills from Tallahatchie County, Tutwiler, and Webb do pretty well the same thing.
They do the exact same thing. They just give property to different municipalities.
They do what?
They give property to different municipalities, different cities.
Yeah, I understand municipality means city. I understand that part, but I was just trying to get more detail. All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Sparks, for what purpose, sir?
A question.
You here for a question, Senator?
I do. I'm sorry, Senator.
Senator Sparks, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Are we transferring the property also, the personal property, the actual property, or just the real property?
Just the real property.
Thank you.
If there are
Okay.
any questions, I move for passage on the morning roll call.
Seeing no further questions, morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object to the procedure? Or is voting no? Present? Seeing none?
I skip the other items after they replace their name on the calendar, and I yield the mic.
Thank you. Senator 39 and 40 retain their place on the calendar. 37 and 38 pass. By use of the morning roll call, we'll go to concurrence and non-concurrence. Concurrence, Senator Pope? Okay. Concurrence and non-concurrence, page 5. Page 5, Senate, on concurrence and non-concurrence. Anyone? Any? I'm sorry, Senator. Senator Polk?
Thank you, Mr. President.
42, I'm sorry, Senator, I didn't see this. Senator 42, we go back, we'll start on 42. 41 retains its place on the calendar.
I'd like to call up item 42 to ask the title be read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
Senate Bill number 2853, small unmanned aircraft systems require state purchase and servicing from American companies only.
Mr. President, I move that we not concur and invite conference.
Motion is not to concur and invite conference. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Thank you, Senator Polk. Okay, 43 and 44. Senator Bryan? Pass. All right, now we're on page 5. Page 5. Concurrence and non-concurrence. Senator Moran? Senator Moran is number 53. Anyone before 53? 43 to 52 retain their place on the calendar. 53, Senator Moran is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to call up item 53, Senate Bill 2530, and ask the title be read, please.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
Senate Bill number 2530, Secretary of State Eric Clark, Coastal Preserve and Gillette Island, Godfather Point, Department of Marine Resources designate.
I move that we do not concur and invite conference.
Motion not to concur and invite conference. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed.
Item number 54, Senate Bill 2544. Ask that title be read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
Senate Bill number 2544, regulation of oyster beds and water bottoms on the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. Bring forward authority.
I move that we do not concur and invite conference.
Motion not to concur and invite conference. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed.
Item number 55. Ask that that title be pulled up and read, please.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
Senate Bill number 2551, Department of Marine Resources, Office of Marine Patrol, cooperate with federal law enforcement.
I move that we do not concur but invite conference.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Thank you, Senator. Chairman Polk. Senator Polk, pass. Okay, beginning on item 56, on page 6. On page 6, anyone? Senator Wiggins? Anyone before 62? So 56 and 60 through 61 retain their place on the calendar. On item 62, Chairman Wiggins.
Go to that item, call it up, and ask the title
Mr.
be
Clerk,
read.
please read the title.
Senate Bill number 2382, out-of-state lawyers required to disclose whether licensed to practice law in Mississippi in television ads.
My motion would be we do not concur and invite conference. The House put a reverse repealer in.
I concur and invite conference. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Thank you, Senator Wiggins. Senator Polk. Senator DeBar. Senator Fillingham. 63 and 64 retain their place on the calendar. Senator Fillingham, you're recognized on 65 on the calendar, Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to go to that item, call it up, and have the title read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
Senate Bill number 2127, terroristic threats, revised elements of.
Thank you, Mr. President. The motion would be that we do concur. The House has the exact Senate language. I don't know why they just strike all to put our language back in our own bill, but that's what they did. So it's the same language, and for those reasons, I move that we concur.
Motion is to concur by use of the morning roll call. There we go, Senator. Anyone object to procedure? Opposed voting no. Present? Seeing none. Concurrence granted. 65. Chairman Bryan, 66. All right, we're on page 7. Page 7. Anyone on page 7? 67. Senator Fillingham is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to go to that item, call it up, and have the title read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
Senate Bill number 2239, state law enforcement officers authorize use of uniforms, weapons, and vehicles off-duty while performing security services.
Thank you, Mr. President. The motion is that we do not concur but invite conference. A reverse repealer was added, so that necessitates our going to conference. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them. If not, I move do not concur but invite conference on the morning roll call.
Motion is not to concur and invite conference. Yeah, it's all in favor. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Passes. So, non-concurrence granted, number 67. Okay, on page 7, Senate, anyone else? Senator Parks. Senator Parks and 71, Senator?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to call that item up and ask the title be read.
68, 69, and 70 retain their place on the calendar. Mr. Clerk, please read 71.
Senate Bill number 2487, Mississippi Dual Enrollment, Dual Credit Scholarship Program established.
My motion is that we do not concur and invite conference.
Motion not to concur and invite conference. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Thank you, Senator Parks. Chairman Whaley? Pass. DeBar? Chairman Wiggins?
Mr. President, my motion is that we suspend the rules and go to items 70, 75, and 78. We take those up in block.
One moment. 70, 75, and 78, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Suspend the rules. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Now we're in block. Does anyone wish to remove one of those numbers? 71, 75, and 78, Senate. Seeing none,
I ask that the titles be read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
Senate Bill number 2384, Foster Care and Adoption Task Force create. Senate Bill number 2645, Circuit Court Districts, increased number of assistant district attorneys and criminal investigators. Senate Bill number 2075, birth certificate adoptee may obtain certified copy of original after age 21.
Mr. President, my motion would be we do not concur and we invite conference.
Motion is not to concur and invite conference. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Thank you. Chairman DeBar, 71, 75, and 78. Invite conference. Okay, Chairman DeBar.
Thank you, Mr. President. My motion is we suspend the rules to take up items 74, 76, and 77 for the purpose to invite conference.
Suspend the rules. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. 74, 76, and 77, Senate. Please read the title, sir.
2586, Computer Science Curriculum, clarify terminology, specify who may provide instruction in. Senate Bill number 2749, School Board members with increased pay. Senate Bill number 2812, Board for Administration of Certain Failing School Districts, extend date of repeal.
Thank you, Mr. President. My motion is we do not concur and we invite conference the House edit reverse repealers to the first two and that additional language from another bill that we killed to that bill as well. So my motion is we do not concur and invite conference by use of morning roll call.
It's just an aye. Motion is not to concur and invite conference. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you, Senator DeBar. We'll go to page 8, Senate. Chairman Fillingane. We're on 79, Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to move that we suspend the rules to take up the following items in block. Items 79, 80, 81, 82, 88, 90, and 91 in block.
One moment, please. 79, 80, 81, 82, 88, 90, and 91. Anyone want to remove one of the bills? Anyone? Okay, the motion is to take up in block. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Senator, you're recognized. Mr. Clerk, please read the titles.
Senate Bill number 2099, Motor Vehicle Theft, revised penalty for. Senate Bill number 2100, Receiving Stolen Property, revised crime of. Senate Bill number 2101, Criminal Law, revised crimes of fleeing a law enforcement officer, resisting arrest, and carjacking. Senate Bill number 2343, Capitol Police, revised jurisdiction of. Senate Bill number 2346, Material Harm for the Minors, provide for liability for any entity that distributes on the internet without age verification. Senate Bill number 2120, Firearms, authorize law enforcement officers to purchase at fair market value upon retirement. Senate Bill number 2297, Forensic Laboratory, require approval of model of intoxicator equipment that is readily available to law enforcement agencies.
The motion is that we do not concur but invite conference on all of these bills. Most of them have reverse repealers on them and major changes were made by the House.
Motion is to
The motion is that we do not concur but invite conference.
concur and invite conference. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Thank you, Senator Fillingane. Your work on that. Chairman Harkins. Pass.
23.
Chairman Polk. Pass. Chairman Wiggins. Pass. Chairman Seymour. Chairman Seymour. We're on item 87, sir. Senator Seymour is recognized. Once 83 through 86 retain place on the calendar. Chairman Seymour.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to go to item 87 and have the title read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
Senate Bill number 2187, Disabled Veterans Motor Vehicle License Tax, revised certain provisions regarding disability rating.
My motion is we do not concur and invite conference.
Motion not to concur and invite conference. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Thank you, Chairman Seymour. Chairman Tate. Chairman Tate. We're on 89, Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to go to item number 89, Senate Bill 2358. Ask the title be read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
Senate Bill number 2358, ballot harvesting ban.
My motion is that we do concur. All they simply did, they didn't change any wording. They just decided to make it into two sections instead of one.
Okay, any questions? Seeing none, Senator, one moment, please. Senator Blunt, for what purpose, sir?
Question, Mr. President.
Are you here for a question, Senator Tate?
I do.
Senator Blunt's recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Please tell me what they did, the House did to the bill that passed.
What they simply did is they just added a second section to it. That's it. In other words, there was no wording that was added. They just, instead of making it a one-section bill, it's a two-section bill, but it did not change any wording at all.
The content is the same.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Blunt. Any other questions?
Motion is by the morning roll call.
Use of the morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object to the procedure? Senator Simmons, do you object to the procedure, sir? Okay. Would like to be voted as no. Senator Simmons? I'm sorry. We had an objection. I thought Senator Simmons. I missed you, Senator Horn. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Barnett. Barrett. Blackman. Blackwell. Blunt. Boyd. Branning. Bryan. Butler for 36. Butler for 38. Carter. Kaufman. Chazanall. Chisholm. DeBar. Delano. England. Fillingane. Frazier. Harkins. Hickman. Hill. Hobson. Horn. Jackson. Johnson. Jordan. Kirby. McCon. McDaniel. McClendon. McMahon. Michelle. Moran. Norwood. Parker. Parks. Polk. Seymour. Simmons of the 12th. Simmons of the 13th. Sojourner. Sparks. Suber. Tate. Thomas. Thompson. Turner Ford. Whaley. Wiggins. Williams. Younger. Barrett. Bryan. Carter. England. Frazier. Harkins. McClendon. McMahon. Simmons of the 12th. Suber. Okay. Voting yes or yay. Barrett, Blackwell, Boyd, Branning, Kaufman, Chazanall, Chisholm, DeBar, Delano, England, Fillingane, Harkins, Hill, Hobson, Johnson, Kirby, McCon, McDaniel, McClendon, McMahon, Michelle, Moran, Parker, Parks, Pope, Seymour, Sojourner, Sparks, Tate, Thompson, Whaley, Wiggins, Williams, Younger. Voting no or nay. Barnett, Blackman, Blunt, Butler of the 36, Butler of the 38, Hickman, Horn, Jackson, Jordan, Norwood, Simmons of the 13th, Thomas, and Turner Ford. Dear Simmons to the vote.
Senator Simmons, for what purpose, sir?
To the vote, Mr. President, I'd like to announce a pair.
Please proceed.
Mr. President, if Senator Bean Suber was here, he would vote aye. I vote no.
No, Simmons, aye, Suber. Senator Thompson.
To the vote, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
To announce a pair.
Please proceed.
If Senator Frazier was here, he'd vote no. I would vote aye.
Thompson, aye. Frazier, no.
No, he's not. Frazier's not here.
I'm sorry, Senator Frazier hasn't been here for the roll call, so he will not be able to pair.
Oh, okay. I just didn't see it.
One moment. Is he on the roll call?
I didn't see it. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So he's here. I just didn't see it.
Did he respond to you?
No, sir, he did not. No. He's probably here. Okay.
All right. We move, thank you, Senator Tate. One moment, please. Let's see. We'll announce a vote. 33 yeas, 13 nays. The bill passes. Thank you, Senator Tate. Okay, we're on page 9, Senate, and you'll see those are conference reports, so we can skip page 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, 17, 18, 19. We go to the general calendar. Senator Seymour. Passes on the general calendar number 189, 190, 191, and 192. Will retain their place upon the calendar. Okay, introductions. I'm sorry, announcements. Announcements. Senator Kaufman, you're recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. President. Business and financial institutions will have a meeting Thursday morning at 9 o'clock in room 409. We have some confirmations that we need to take care of and also have it adjourned in memory.
Please proceed, Senator Kaufman.
When the Senate adjourns today, I ask that we do so in the memory of Miss Nancy Stevenson of Mendenhall. She is the mother-in-law of Representative Price Wallace.
Thank you, Senator. Senator McMahon, you're recognized.
Mr. President, local and private will meet today at 1:30. I anticipate this will be a lengthy meeting. We've got about 30 bills to take up. Local and private, room 210 at 1:30.
Senator Parks.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, universities and colleges in room 409, we have confirmations that we need to take care of.
409, Senator Younger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to remind the Senate that everybody is invited to the Catfish lunch tomorrow at First Baptist Church in the Christian Life Center. Everybody.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Whaley.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks Committee will meet this afternoon at 2:30 in room 409 for a quick meeting.
2:30, 409, Mr. Clerk. Senator Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. in room 216, the Education Subcommittee on Nominations will have a hearing with State Superintendent Dr. Robert Taylor and Mississippi Board of Education Chair Rosemary Altman. We will not be voting on the nomination in this meeting, and all senators are invited and encouraged to attend.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Horn, for what purpose? For an announcement?
Adjourn in memory.
Okay, please proceed, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. When the Senate adjourns today, I'd like to ask that it do so in memory of Mr. Bobby Joe Stubbs, who passed away on February 27th.
Thank you, Senator. Any other announcements? Any other announcements? Seeing none, Senator Polk, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate stand in recess until 5 p.m. today, at which time the adjournment will reflect that we're adjourned until 10 a.m. tomorrow.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Thank you.